Okay, this is part two of ATMs, creating ATMs and risk reward. So when last we left off, we were doing two targets and this we named it incorrectly, all right? So we need to bring it back up because we're getting into the C section right now. So let's edit it. Let's save the template. And instead of B's, so this is going to be C1A. Right? Very nice. Our risk reward's 1-to-1. And we just hit save. Okay. Now this one up here is not where it belongs, so we need to remove that. Hit okay. All right. 16s and 51s with a 32 tick target. There really isn't, we don't really need another one. We see up here when we were under 50, we could go for 20s or 30s or 40s. But here, you can move I set them up like this so you can move your second target. If you want to move your second target out to 100 ticks, you can do that. I purposely didn't put any more ATM movement or automatic stop movement in because you may want to extend those targets if the market's really rocking and rolling. And I really don't need another, I can go for 16s and 30s. Yeah, okay. If you'd rather do that, then just make yourself a 16 and 30 ATM. But I think the 16 and 51, when the market's between 51 and 99, is a really nice target to shoot for. You're going to de-risk that anyway after 16s, and then you just sit and wait. All right. Let's go to C1B, and we'll do the little underlining like we did up there. So we're going to do that. We're going to edit it. We're going to save the template. We're going to take this all out. C1B. Let's save. And what's that look like? Looks like this. So when I go to C2, well, maybe I should make that C2. That will be 1D. All right, let's call it something else. Let's give us a little more room if we want to add more. So instead of B, let's make it D, as in dog. So C1D has a bunch of underscores. Hit save. Okay. And now we'll do our, take this one off. Yes. All right, but notice how nice and neat my charts look right here. All right, so there's all my PVI under 50. Here's my PMI from 50 to 100. And now I'm going to get into 4 contracts and 3 targets with the PVI and PMI. Should be PVI. So let's put that up. Let's edit, save template. Should be PVI. Save. Okay. And then this one up here, same thing. Edit it, save the templates. Should be PVI, not PMI. Used to be a mortgage broker. And the PMI is your monthly payment, right? So we'll get rid of that. All right, so let's see what this looks like. All my ATMs for under 50 PVI are there. Now I'm creating my ATMs for PVI between 50 and 100. And now I need to go to C2. So I'm going to use C2A and create my first one. So let's go to one of these previous ones. We'll edit it. Okay, I got 4. Remember, 2 contracts on the first target. That first contract's now going to be 16. Notice I don't have any ATM on the first target. Then I'm going to go for 31s and say 61s. All right, now I need to change my, when I get to 17, I'm going to go to -14. So where is that? 17 minus 14. Oops, that's not right. All right, let's just do it this way. 17 minus 14. Hit OK. Okay. Now this one, we're going to do the same thing. 17 minus 14. Okay. Custom. If you want to see what that is, you just hit edit and it shows you what it is. Hit OK. All right. So when my first target gets to 17, my stop is going to come to minus 14. And I got 30 ticks worth of room for the market to move and go to my second target of 30s and then 61s. Now, what I'll do a lot of times after my 30 tick stop target has been hit is I'll move my third target to +1. All right. And I'll just say, well, if worst comes to worst, I'll take 15s and 30s. I'll put +1 on my third. If I run to 60s, brilliant. If I don't, that's fine too. And the neat thing about this is I could take my 61 tick target, I can actually get it out of the way and just stay in the trade for as long as I want without any risk at all. So that's pretty nice. So let's save that. All right. Now, this is going to be C2A. So C2A. I got 16 ticks for my first target. I have 31 ticks for my second target and 61 for my last target. Now, what do I have for a 1-to-1 risk reward on my stop? So I figure out how much profit do I make if I get all my targets taken out. Well, here's 15 times 2, that's 30. Then 30 times 1, that's 30 as well. So 30 and 30 is 60, and another 60 is 120. So 120 ticks of total profit divided by 4 contracts. So really my stop should be 30 here. Okay. With the understanding that I can move it to 60 ticks if I need 60 ticks worth of risk. Now, there's a lot of trades you can get into with 60 ticks worth of risk, even with the PVI being between 50 and 100. There's all kinds of double fails and all kinds of static bar reversals that you can get in with 60 ticks of risk or less. So this ATM, probably my favorite one, because I can get into most trades using this ATM. Now, if you need a little bit more risk to start, and then you'll move it, you can start at 60 here for, and you know what, let's make 2 of them. So we'll do this one first. Okay. That's 1-to-1 risk reward. And now we'll make another one that's got 2-to-1 risk reward. 60, 60, and 60. All right. So let's save that. That'll be 60. That'll be 2B. And say, okay. All right, now, which one would I use and when and why would I use it that way? If you do the first one, then you get into the trade with the knowledge that you can move your stop from 30 ticks to 60 ticks and still be within my 2-to-1 risk reward relationship. Okay. But in this way, if I have 60 ticks to stop, I can take my 60 ticks and I can bring it down or up into position. So if I'm looking at a stop somewhere between 30 and 60, I start further away and move my stop closer as I need to. Now, if the market requires you to use more than 60 ticks worth of risk, you have to actually go into the next section, which is when the PVI is over 100. And that's PVI, not PMI. Okay. That's probably my how did I get 30 and 60. Okay, 30 and 60. Just depends how you want to do it. If you want to start off with a less stop and move it more if you need to, then use the 31. If you want to start with the most amount of risk that you can have and then move it into place as long as it's under 60 ticks worth of risk, then you can use the second one. But either way, this is 1-to-1 risk reward. This is 2-to-1 risk reward. You really don't need more than that. And that's really all there is to it. Now let's do PMI, PMI. We can take that one off actually. So we'll just remove that one. All right. So now if the market's really hopping and it's over 100, you really don't need any more than this. If it's over 100, then you can use these ATMs. And what we're going to do is go for a 20 tick first stop instead of a 16 tick first stop. All right. And we're going to make our targets out as well. So now we're into the Ds. So let's start here. We're going to edit. All right. We still have these. Now we're going to go for 2 targets, right? So our target's going to be 21. That's our first target. And then you can make your second target whatever you want to make it. We can leave it at 51s. We'll make one for 51s, and then we'll have a target of 101. And at that, when the market's moving and you're doing double failures and static bars, that's a great ATM to have. All right. So if I'm going to go for a 21 tick first target and a 50 tick second target, that means I have 70 ticks worth of risk, which means I can have 35 ticks worth of risk and be at 1-to-1 risk reward, right? All right, so I need to change this one here. When my first target gets taken out at 22s, remember it takes 22 ticks to get taken out here. And my stop's going to go to -18. Now I've got 40 ticks worth of risk. 22 pay -18. Now the market has more room, has 40 ticks to move because it's moving at a faster pace. This is my 1-to-1 risk reward stop loss. I'm going for a 20 tick target and a 50 tick target. All right. So we'll save this. We're going to go for D1A. D is in dog. 1A, go for 21s and 51s. And 35 ticks worth of risk is 1-to-1 risk reward relationship. All right. So let's save. Okay. Brilliant. Now let's make another one. We'll just edit this one again. We'll go for 101 tick target. And now if I get full targets, I have 120 ticks worth of profit. My stop loss for a 1-to-1 risk reward is 60. So you see how you can manipulate your stop loss, still keep a 1-to-1 risk reward by running your second target out further. All right. And as the market comes more into profit, let's say it gets 60 or 70 ticks into profit, then you can move your stop loss manually to +10, something like that, or +20, however you want to do it, but you can do it all manually. We're just trying to de-risk this trade quickly so that you don't have the stress of having to hold risk for a long period of time. Once your first target gets hit, you're at -18. You can't lose any money on the trade. The worst you can do is break even. If it runs to your 100 tick target, fantastic. If not, you break even. So there you go. So now we'll save this template. We'll change it from 35 to 60. And you can use, it's just a starting point. This is 21B. Save it. Okay. All right. So what does that look like on our sheet? All right. So PVI is 100 plus. I'm going for 20s and 50s. Oh, oops. This should be 100. So let's change it's just naming of it. I just didn't name it properly. And then this one we need to get rid of right here. Okay. Very nice. So those are my 2 target, 2 contract ATMs. Now I'll go to D1D. Save template. D1D space save. Okay. What's that look like? Okay, now I can do my 3 target, 4 contract ATMs underneath of it. So here they are right here above for the smaller PVI. So I'll just use that. I'll just make them bigger. All right, so I'm going to do 21 tick first targets. Now you can go with whatever you want here. We're going to make a bunch of these. So 21, 41, 81,